I'll do it. I'll try iOS 26. If you watch my second channel, you'll know that I did a live, in inverted commas, reaction to iPadOS 26. We'll link to that video at the end of this video. Obviously, watch this one first, but that's done really well on a channel that doesn't have many subscribers. I thought, let's do the same thing on this channel with the iPhone and iOS 26. So I've installed iOS 26, the developer beta, on here, and I've not used it apart from turning it on and making sure it works. I've done nothing else, and what I've done in front of me is list 5 or 6 things I want to try or try on iOS 26 and just give you my live reaction and then get your opinion on it as well, because it's an interesting year for Apple, isn't it? Let's be honest. The other thing that I want to do, weirdly, is talk about this at the end, which is the Google Pixel 9 Pro, because it links to all of this stuff. I promise, there's definitely a link here. But anyway, let's get into this, because that's why you came here. This video, by the way, guys, could go anywhere. Firstly, a public service announcement, guys. This isn't my main phone. This is my iPhone 16e. I've not installed the developer beta on here. I won't install the public beta on here as well, because I value what hair I have remaining and my sanity. Don't do it, please, unless you have a second iPhone that you don't care too much about. I'm a little bit nervous about this. I don't know why. I think it's because iOS, it's on the brink of either being fantastic again or not very good. That's the problem, I think, with this. Anyway, let's get into this. Let's start recording. Okay, so you can see my screen now. Liquid glass. That's the first thing on my list. Liquid glass UI, and can't even say that. The liquid glass UI and the lock screen effects. We'll come on to that in a second. But in terms of liquid glass, I've experienced this on the iPad. And on the iPad, it's way too much. There's just too much translucency. And I've heard a lot about the iPhone being very similar. So the first thing that I just noticed before I started recording the screen was, if I pull down the control center, nearly forgot the name, it looks horrendous. Let me know in the comments what you think about this. I know lots of people have done this already, but this is the first time I've seen it on this phone. I've got a feeling that this is the most translucent version of liquid glass we're going to see. If you don't know what liquid glass is, by the way, I keep saying that. I appreciate not everyone knows or cares. It's basically Apple's new design language. So it's this kind of translucent glass-like thing that they're doing with the UI. If I was new to this, or if I didn't go into Control Center very often, and this was the first thing that I saw in iOS 26, I don't know, it's just way too much. Don't like it. If I scroll up, that's the now playing thing. Again, there's nothing playing on it, to be fair. Here we go, a bit of Daft Punk. You can't hear this, obviously, for copyright reasons. That hasn't helped things, really. The Daft Punk is not translucent, I don't think. No, it's not, but the rest of the controls are. I don't like it, guys. It's too much. Oh, wow. Yeah, so this is another view of a Control Center where I've got all my Wi-Fi settings and all that sort of stuff. Again, it's just too translucent. It really is. If we go into Apple Music, let's try a few Apple apps. I did not like Apple Music on the iPad. It looked, way too see-through, basically. Animations, by the way, very nice. They're very, very smooth. I'm not expecting perfect, because it can't be perfect because it's a beta, but it's very smooth. But the problem that you can see here, if I start scrolling past some of these album artworks, you can see that the kind of background color of the controls at the bottom changes. It mirrors the color of the album art, basically. Excuse the traffic going past. We have a tractor shop down the road. Normally cut that out, but because there's very few edits on this video, you might hear the odd tractor. Look at that. It's just, you can't read home, for instance. Home is red, and it's being partially obscured by that Daft Punk album art in the background. It looks cool, in inverted commas again, because it just does, but it's not practical, I don't think. What else can I look at? Photos. Oh, photos. Remember photo? Well, you know Photos currently, which is an absolute mess since the redesign last year. So they've brought back the tabs at the bottom. And again, I can't read Library. Library is blue in this case, but I can't see it because of the stuff behind it. It's just in the way. I can see Collections, but I guess if I hit Collections, it's going to then, yeah. Let me know what you think in the comments, guys, about liquid glass. What more can I say about liquid glass? I don't really know. If I pull down notifications, center, the phone's getting very hot. Again, I'm not judging that because this is a beta, but that's, again, the reason that you shouldn't do this on your main phone. I don't know what else I can say about liquid glass. It just needs dialing back. And actually, when you look at the phone just like that, it doesn't look particularly different. The icons are different, mail looks different, podcasts looks different. If I go into podcasts, what does that look like? Okay, here we go. That looks fine. But again, it looks fairly similar to what it was. We've got these kind of tabs at the bottom now for new, for library. Let's go into the app switcher, and this phone's getting so hot. So I have got a charger at the ready just in case, because I might need to start charging it if the battery starts to die. But okay, so this looks fine. This looks all right. I've got no problems here. Right, next, lock screen effects. I know we can I do this while I'm recording? Let's lock the phone. Is it still recording? Okay, I can't show you that on the screen recording because it's stopped, but I can show you it on this camera, obviously. So we have this new time thing where the size of the time dynamically changes based on the background that you have. That looks very cool. The one thing that doesn't look great is the play thing here. So if I lock the screen, looks fine there, but as soon as the background comes in, the play controls for music look ridiculous because you can't see them. That's not great. The one thing I do want to try is this kind of, call it like a 3D effect on your photos on your lock screen. So let's try and set one up. Okay, so I've got a photo of my lovely son there. I want to make this 3D. How do we do that? Let's long press there, customize. Is there a 3D setting on here? How do we do this? Depth effect? It's not that, is it? No, that's not working. That's not working either. How do you do it? I'm actually going to have to Google this. How to 3D effect on iOS 26. Look for the spatial effect toggle, often represented by a hexagon icon.
10 years later.
Okay, I can't find that setting. It's supposed to be at the bottom right, but there's nothing there to turn on this spatial 3D thing. Basically, during WWDC, they showed us this 3D effect where you can turn your wallpaper into a 3D image. It looked very cool, but I can't try it now. So let's move on to something else. Okay, Apple Intelligence, yay! Visual Intelligence, actually, more specifically, because they've made quite a big change to that. Now, we access that by pressing and holding the camera control button. Nothing. Why is that not working? Settings, Apple Intelligence. I've turned it off, haven't I? I've turned off Apple Intelligence. I was so fed up with it on this phone when I was still using this phone. I turned it off, I remember now. Let's turn that back on. I've also noticed on here that the toggle switches are longer. They're kind of like pill shaped now, which is quite interesting. Oh, how long is it going to take to turn back on? Maybe it's just, is that it just on? Let's hope so. Let's try it again. So press and hold. Yay! Oh, downloading support for Visual Intelligence. Once downloaded this, okay. Bear with me. Okay, while it's doing that, let's have a go on something else. Image Playground. What can we do on here? We can generate visuals from text or sketches. You can see there what I've done previously with Image Playground. There's a couple of family members in there as well. Not the pumpkin driving the car, by the way. Interesting. Okay, so it still looks ridiculous, but if I go into New Image, downloading support for Image Playground. Okay, let's come back to that one. Battery insights and adaptive power mode is different, apparently. Okay, let's go into the battery settings. What's a bit weird, when you go into the settings app, search is now at the bottom of the screen rather than at the top. Interesting, a bit confusing. Let's go into my battery. Why is this different? You're using less battery today than you usually do by 10:03. I'm not sure what I'm looking at here. It looks a bit different. I'm basically padding here because I'm waiting for Apple Intelligence to download. I knew this video would turn into a bit of a mess. Trust me, this edit is going to be horrendous for Niall, but well, you haven't got to worry about that. I haven't got to worry about that. Let's talk about the photo, not the photo, we talked about that. Let's talk about the spam call screening and the kind of hold thing where, I hate that. All this is going wrong now, isn't it? How much of this are you going to keep in? But who cares? There's about 1 billion iOS 26 videos out there. Maybe this one is slightly more interesting because it's Monday morning, I'm very tired and everything's going wrong. While this is downloading Apple Intelligence, weird, let's talk very quickly about the calling features, which I can't demonstrate, unfortunately, but they are on here. There's two that I think are genuinely very interesting and nice to have on board. Call screening. So if you get a spam call, now basically the phone deals with it for you and you can decide whether or not to pick up the call. That's it. You can see how it works on Apple's website, and people have gone into this, but the point being, in theory, once you've got iOS 26, you won't have to deal with spam calls unless they're not spam calls and you decide to actually take the call. It's a genuine benefit for iOS 26. And again, well, in fact, let me talk about the whole. I've really this. Oh no. Okay, the second thing is the kind of this hold alert thing. I can't think what they call it, but basically, if you're ringing a business and you get put into a holding thing, you can basically leave your phone and your phone will let you know when you can go back to it and speak to someone because you've got through the holding thing. You know what I mean? Two features which have nothing to do or very little to do with AI. There's AI built into them, obviously, but it's not invasive. It just does the thing that it's supposed to do without bothering you. And the benefit of that is that you get more of your time back and you don't have these annoying calls. And it's AI. It is AI, isn't it? It's AI like this that makes sense, I think, personally. Right, stop padding, Mark. Have we got visual intelligence yet? Obviously, the screen recording stopped, hasn't it? Why has that stopped? Did I even start it? Let's start it again. Okay, have we got visual intelligence yet? Let's have a look. Long press. No. Okay, we haven't got that. Let's go back into Image Playground. Is it still downloading support? It's still... Right, I'll come back in a second. In fact, this is a great opportunity to talk about today's sponsor. This week's video is sponsored by ESR, and yes, they make lots of interesting accessories, but this one really stood out. If you've got an iPhone, you need to check out the ESR Geomagnetic Wallet Stand. It holds up to 3 cards, it slides into your pocket easily, and there's a finger loop on the back, which makes it feel properly secure when you're on the go. But this is what makes it different. It's one of the first MagSafe wallet stands with full Apple certified Find My built in. So if you leave it behind somewhere, your phone will tell you, and you can just ping it with a sound and track it in real time. It's basically like having an AirTag built in, minus the bulk. And those magnets are seriously strong as well. They're over 4 times stronger than Apple's, in fact, and you can really feel it. And that stand is genuinely handy. It adjusts from 15 to 170 degrees in both portrait and landscape, so you can watch videos, take FaceTime calls, and read all hands-free. If you're already in the MagSafe ecosystem, this one just makes sense. I'll leave a link below if you want to check it out. Okay, I think we have Apple Intelligence. Let's try it. So, long press. I just checked that. Go to settings. It doesn't say it anymore. It doesn't say that it's downloading stuff. Does Image Playground work? Let's try that. Image Playground. Okay, this is working. I don't understand Image Playground at all. I don't get the point of it whatsoever. But there are some new things we can do in this version in iOS 26. Use Image Playground to generate visuals from text or sketches. This feels like it was before. Let's do it from an image. Okay, choose photo. Let's choose a photo of... This could be interesting. A photo of the Switch 2 running Mario. By the way, I reviewed that recently. We'll put a link above so you can go and check that out. That's given me... What am I supposed to do with that? I have no idea. What have they changed in Image Playground? It's so slow. It's so hot, this phone. Let's have a quick look on Apple's website. Right, okay. More ways to express yourself with images. Mix emoji and descriptions to make something brand new. In Image Playground, discover additional ChatGPT styles. Okay. Let's do that. Where's ChatGPT? Describe an image. Okay. A YouTuber who is tired and emotional trying to demonstrate new software to his audience. Tick. Ooh, use ChatGPT. Okay, enable ChatGPT. This is going to be interesting, isn't it? Completely pointless. I'd never do what I've just done, ever. Okay, we have a little drop down at the top now, which says style. And we've got ChatGPT, Genmoji, animation, illustration, lots of things, basically. Generating, it's very slow. Is it generating? Is that little thing in the middle suggesting that it's actually doing something? I have no idea. This phone is roasting now. You could genuinely cook an egg on this thing, I think. Is it speaking to ChatGPT? What happens if I change it? Oh, hang on. Oh! That's exactly how I feel at the minute. So ChatGPT has come up with this. Brilliantly accurate as well for how I feel. I would be crying now if you weren't here, by the way. But if I change it back to... illustration. Should we go for that? Is this not using... Okay, it's picked out me for some... Where's it got that from? Okay, there's me apparently looking tired and emotional. What is this for? This is what I don't like about consumer-facing AI. It doesn't make any sense. Why would you ever do this? I know that also, if I go into messages, obviously I have to be very careful what messages I show you here. So this phone is so slow. Do not install this beta, guys. Please don't do it. I just need to pick a... No, not that one. Okay, that doesn't really give away anything. So let's go into here. I know that if I do, is it that emoji button? Yeah, here we go. Genmoji beta. This is different as well, apparently. So let's go into here. Help improve Apple Intelligence by creating... Why am I helping Apple Intelligence by doing this? Creating original emoji and sharing your feedback. Okay, fair enough. Choose someone you know as a starting point for the Genmoji. Interesting. Use Genmoji like emoji. What does that mean? Use Genmoji like emoji. Add to a message, respond with a tap back. Oh, so old. Right, let's describe a Genmoji. A trampoline-shaped ostrich reading war and peace on a sausage. If you're still watching this video, by the way, guys, thank you. We'd normally put something like this. Wow! I was going to say, we normally put something like this onto the second channel, but we just thought we'd take a bit of a risk with this one. Great! What am I supposed to do with that, though? Let's just do me, just because that's less problems, kind of legally. Start with me and this trampoline-shaped ostrich. How much of this are we going to actually put... Are we going to include much of this in this video, Niall? Oh, what is going on now? I've lost it. It's gone. Right, I'm going to stop testing iOS 26 there for two reasons. One, because this phone is genuinely getting hard to hold. It's that hot. And secondly, because this brings me to the Google Pixel 9 Pro. Now, this isn't my phone. Google sent this to me on loan because I said, can I borrow one? Because I basically feel like I need to do some more testing between the Google Pixel series and the iPhone. The reason for that, well, I'll let you in on a little secret. I really fancy switching properly to the Pixel when the Pixel 10 Pro arrives later this year. I'm genuinely very, very tempted to do it. The first reason is the camera. The camera on Google Pixel, this is such a cool phone, and it's not hot at all. The reason I'm very tempted is because the camera system on this is fantastic. It's my favorite camera system. Secondly, the operating system experience on the Pixel series is just better than iOS. Putting the beta to one side, I'm not comparing it against that, but even with the existing non-beta iOS, I just prefer Android at the moment. It's much more enjoyable to use. The other reason is because if I need to use AI, it works. It's all there. Gemini works. Everything works. Circle to Search is there, and it's not beta. It's not being tested. It just works. I don't use a lot of that stuff, but I do feel like I need to stop moaning about it and just kind of get into AI a little bit more, just so I can talk about it a bit more, with a bit more authority. I can't do that with the iPhone. I can't do it with the current version of iOS. I don't really think I'm going to be able to do it with iOS 26 because it's so confusing and weird. And again, it's not finished, whereas it is on here. So that is my big preview for the rest of this year. I'm very tempted when iOS 26 comes along properly and the Google Pixel 10 series comes along, whenever that's going to be. I don't know when that's going to be, but whenever that appears, I'm very tempted to switch. Have I even got a way of signing this video off? I don't think I have. What I will do is firstly turn this over to you now, guys. Let me know in the comments. Firstly, do you ever want to see a video like this from me ever again? And secondly, what do you think of iOS 26? Have you tried it safely, not on your main phone? Let me know in the comments. And the other thing that I'll do is point you in the direction of my iPadOS 26 reaction, which was a little bit more organized than this and a little bit better, I think. But we'll put that at the end. Put a link in a second to that video on my second channel. If you've got this far and if you've been watching this channel for a while, thank you so much. If you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, it's down there somewhere. Give it a click, please. It means the world. This was interesting. I'm gonna go and I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna use this anymore. I can't. It's too hot. I'm gonna go and think about life and iOS and all that stuff. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna shut up. See you later. Ooh, visual intelligence, nearly forgot. That should be working now. Let's give it a very quick test. Okay, so press and hold the camera control. Okay, it's working now. So let's take a photo of this ESR case like that. And straight away, it gives me results from Google. It's very slow. Again, I'm not judging this because it's a beta, but okay, it's found what it is. It's basically circle to search, isn't it? Because I can do that as well. What happens then? It's very early days, isn't it? Anyway, once again, see you later.